Anyway, I say we go into this collective reading. Why not?
Boom. I slimmed it down. It just says collective.
What did it used to say before?
Collective reading.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Right?
Well, this is going to be a really weird week. Okay? I think that love-wise, looking at this time, we're seeing a big shift. The sun's leaving Taurus and moving into Gemini. It's going to square Jupiter. But we have Saturn going retrograde this week. So stationary retrograde happening on the 22nd of May this weekend on Saturday. And then we have the sun coming into Gemini technically on the 20th of May. And so with the sun squaring Jupiter, that could be bad luck, okay? Just the energy of bad luck comes from sun squaring Jupiter. But it really is like interesting that it's happening in all this mutable energy, because now that the sun's going to enter into Gemini with this north node in Gemini, it's triggering the eclipse energy, okay? It's triggering so much with now that Mercury is in shadow, and it's getting close to where it's going to come retrograde next week. And what's interesting is it's going to square Neptune while we're having all these really weird things going on. Sun square Jupiter and with Jupiter in Pisces and the sun in Gemini with the nodes. This is going to bring up a lot of like where, and especially I think for love is, one, you got to be willing to go through change, okay? This is going to be massive changeable times, change of environment, and also like having a spiritual understanding. Relationships without a spiritual understanding or communication spiritually ain't going to work. Like you're not going to be able to find your twin or anything like that if we use the analogy. And the Lover's card really is Gemini. You know, if you're not going to be able to find love if you're on completely different spiritual philosophies and ideologies. Plus with the South Node being in Sag and the dispositor of that, I feel like this is just going to be a week where it's like the truth is a wild and fun ride. It's not something that is boring, but for some people, they want to stay in boring land. They want to stay in that everything's good and I don't want anything to feel chaotic, where chaotic can be anything from somebody feeling chaotic because of watching the media all day and believing in all that it tells you and the chaos that they try to pour into your life for, I don't know, 70 plus years. And every Time magazine article, if you just look at it over the last 70 years, we should have died from like a million different things. That's chaos. Or there's the chaotic feeling, or to me, what feels like fun, like, you know, like going on the ride of your life at a amusement park, or the thrill of the chaos of, oh my gosh, I'm going into a relationship and who knows how this is going to go. Like there's all the different ways to look at this stuff. I think the bad luck is not expanding your spiritual truth. I think the bad luck is when you choose to not surrender to the divine and that you think you know better than the divine. Like this is a war of people's minds against the divine. And the people's minds are going to lose. This is also at the same token with Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. Well, there's frustrations that come up with Saturn retrogrades, okay? Things stop. We are not climbing the ladder any farther, okay? Not till 2022. You will not see Saturn past this degree of 13 degrees of Aquarius. So start to get with the program that you're going to have to realize if you haven't taken risks, if you want to move forward in certain things, it's about what only is moving forward in things that you've already made commitments to, that you've already made choices about. But if you're like on the fence about making a choice still about something, I mean, you know, I think it hurts the most when you wait till the end, but at least it gets done. That's the whole thing about Saturn. It could be like, well, at least I made the choice, even though it hurt. What's worse, though, is when you choose not to choose, which is a choice in itself. There's always a choice. And that choice is not done, and Saturn retrograde happens, and then you are stuck. And especially in Aquarius, you want freedom. No. You want connection. No. So if you've made, I'm going to be honest, in my life, I made a choice about connection in my life. Those are not easy choices. But when you trust the universe and divine timing and you trust connection, you know what? I'd rather choose connection and that trust because and in the universe, because that's where it's all supposed to go. And that's really the ride of life. And you got to go with your gut, and you got to trust, and you got to just go. And it might seem crazy to everybody. One thing about this time is, and I know for me, because I'm living it right now, there's some people who think it's crazy for me to enter into focusing on one person and committing all my energy and seeing where it goes. And we both feel the same way, and we both are really happy. But it's left field for a lot of people. But does it matter? Who cares? As long as people in their lives trust whatever feels right. When you get that feeling like this is fucking it, you better not be like so scared of that shit. You got to be willing to throw the unpredictability of Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius, which is unpredictability in itself, and learning to make that your bitch. You know what I mean? You got to make unpredictability your bitch. Or you're going to be just a little bitch that's afraid of unpredictability. I mean, you know, this is about connection now. And this is about the excitement of Gemini, which is like change and truth and stimulation. Or are you blocking that from the spiritual Pisces sense, which is not listening to the divine? And more importantly enough, you know, like kind of going into escapism. And I think that with, you know, even with connection with Saturn, like this isn't about like the like craziest leaps ever, even though there is a part to that. But it's like knowing that connection does take time, right? So it's like there's still got to be like connection, and then there's also got to be the adult way of how you do it. And so I think that this is a time where it kind of feels like it's an all or nothing week in your love life. Gonna be real. Just because with Venus now, with the North Node conjunction, Mercury going to square Neptune, there could be this, you know, looking at your environment and your reality and communication. Like if there's anything that you need to say or things that are still hidden, oh, it's going to start coming up on your emotional and spiritual radar. You know, and that's why I think it's important to use astrology, especially in relationships, you know, and to be honest with people and to be honest with, and if you have questions, answer the questions, like just as they are. Like you don't have to create stories. This is where people can get lost in their junk if they start creating stories. Because especially with the Jupiter square the sun. Not only does Jupiter not like to be in a Gemini, it's not there. But, you know, Gemini is all about truth and what we communicate and what we say. And Pisces is where we can either be from the highest accord of our high vibration, or we could be in our total just denial, and we could self-sabotage. So, you know, there are some things that to tower card out in our life that are not spiritually good for us. But then there are some things that are great for us that we shouldn't tower. And that those are the hard choices. But that has to come down to this week's Mercury square Neptune. This is where your mind and the divine are at battle. This is where your soul and your intuition and your mind are at battle. And you have to, in this one's hard because it's Neptune's in its home sign, and so is Mercury. Mercury has the North Node, Rahu, and Venus, and the Sun. But Neptune also has his brother Jupiter, right? So this one's like pretty equal. And I would say that this one's really hard but I would say that the Sun and Rahu and Venus and Mercury would win this one, even against the two biggest energies that you could get, and especially in Pisces, just for the fact that the North Node and the eclipses are going to be in here in Gemini. That truth wins, and divine truth, and understanding Hermetic truth, and seeing the point between things, and not looking for a deeper part of intellect of trying to understand your situations, but a more spiritual point of the spiritual's intellect and the higher forces. Because anything that's built right now off falsity will fall fast. Sandcastles are coming down. Anything that's built off divine, godly energy is going to rise like never before. And this is going to be an epic win for the light if you are in that with your love life. But if you have things in yourself that you are not ready to get rid of and be honest with, if you have blocks to your heart, if you have blocks to your soul, if you're lost in escapism itself, it's going to be difficult. because how can you be in your truth and have that environment of truth happen if really you're just in an escapist place, where you escape when you start to see the writing on the wall of that love and light and positivity in your romantic life. And it's trying to knock really heavy on the door right now, really loud, but in a beautiful way. Of like, hey, this is the truth. This is a trumpet call. Like, this is where the truth is about to come out. We're seeing it in the world if you want to use mundane astrology. I mean, there's way too many truths coming out. And are you asleep or not? And that's why, the magnet thing, I think, was a great way to kind of put that. So let's see what's going on with the collective for the tarot this week in love. I only do the astrology.
Down.
Huh? What were you saying?
Come on down. That's all I'm saying,
Come on down.
Come on down to Funky Town.
Ding dong.
Ding dong to you.
All right, let's see what's going on. First card that we got for this week is the Devil card. Wow. This is going to be an interesting week. Woo! 7 of Swords. Oh, I was just talking about lies or anything that wasn't going to, that's going to be crazy. The High Priestess reversed. Whoa. Well, the way we get through this is the print. This is going to be the Knight of Cups upright. This is a pretty clear reading right here. There is a lot of lying and betrayal and darkness, and you got to get yourself away from that. If you're single and you're in weird situations, if you're in a relationship and it's fucking weird and there's lies and there's deception and there's a darkness to it and there's an over-attachment to things, because the only way through this is the Knight of Cups. Like, what is pure emotionally that you're moving forward with that comes from a divine, loving, and positive emotional space that is not based off lies? The challenge here is, are you lying to yourself? Or are you lying to others? Are you being lied to? Is there some sort of, there's a lot of deception here. The High Priestess reverse overall, like, are you not listening? That's what I'm saying. You're not listening to spirit? Are you listening to the devil that's actually using propaganda in so many different ways right now? Even programming your romantic life. Look at how this devil, literally, those are lovers that are not in love anymore. They're chained. Like, are you in that kind of relationship? Like, this is, to me, and I'm going to be very real, this is going to be a little different reading. Like, this is the light worker, like, calling in lovers too. Like, are the true light worker loves happening? Or, like, are you a light worker that know you're in a false relationship, and are you ready to wake up and get out of that and move to a light worker relationship? I mean, there's a lot of that's coming up big time. But the way through this is to move forward into the, and also there's like that, some people are going to experience this week is like leaving all this and moving into something more beautiful and divine with this Knight of Cups upright. It's almost like a baptism, like the water washing, the divinity washing and moving through and clearing off this kind of dark energy that's been around, that's been either the lies and deceits we do to ourselves or the blocks. The Devil comes with the World card reverse. So, oh boy, I feel that there's a lot of people right now in this attachment kind of energy, relationship-wise, or in a backwards world. Like, it's almost like what's not working, and it's making you feel bad, but you're still doing it. Like, you need to stop. Like, you need to stop. If you're dating that person, it's not working, or you're still trying to find love through maybe like a dating app, and it's not working, and it just keeps leading you astray, or you're in that relationship that keeps, I'm going to bring up some sensitive subjects, keeps beating you or keeps emotionally trauma, shit. Like, this is where you got to stop that pattern. This High Priestess is reversed because we got the Tower reversed. Wow. I was feeling this was the week of all weeks. This is where, nothing's going to fall. I'm okay. I'm not going to pay attention to the signs of this. Like, and then the other part of this is where it's like, no, actually people paying attention to what the divine is saying are building their most beautiful lives right now. And that are in a different world that is not in the darkness. I'm not going to lie. I can share this with Ashley. Like, it felt like heaven this weekend. So, there's heaven out there and there's hell. I don't know what y'all want to walk through. I really don't know. But if it doesn't feel like heaven this week, it's fucking not heaven. Like, it's that clear. The divine feels like the divine and hell feels like hell. And if you're single feeling that, you're in something in your life Might not be the person either that you're dating, or it could just be you're in your own hell and you're attracting hell to you. Or vice versa, like you're in a relationship and it's in hell. Like this is how fucking intense it is. Wow.
Ta-da, how do you like me now?
Water element came with that. Sensing. I mean, the universe is kind of screaming, listen to your emotions, listen to your senses, listen to what is going on there. That one's coming up extremely, especially, remember, the water element is all 3 zodiac signs. So it's Cancer, your emotions and your feelings, but it also is Scorpio. What is your intimacy, your trust, and where does it feel? Where's your spidey senses being like, oh, fuck yeah, and then listening to your soul, when the divine says. We got to know these things, and we got to wash ourselves away of the darkness. There's either this huge, beautiful washing away of all the bullshit in life and coming into heaven, or it's the opposite, and you're doubling down in the not Mai Tai fucking summer, but like what would be something gross, like
in regards to
dumping yourself in your own fucking shit.
The swamp creatures and
a
Princess
shit pool?
Bride.
Or how about this? A fucking you're at the RV park and you're swimming in the dump tank under the ground.
Let's call that Venice Beach.
Pretty much nowadays. Time, look at this. Divine time is coming up. You know, one thing, I think this is going to be the hardest thing for some people. This might be a trigger, but whenever this card's up, like the Santa times are up, okay? And look at how the sun and the moon are aligning in the eclipse for next week. But what's interesting with this is we're seeing the 7 of Swords, we're seeing this Knight of Cups, and then we're seeing this time card that we got here. I would say that it's like, it's time for you to be honest with yourself. If you're betraying yourself and you're washing away and you're stepping into the new beautiful energy emotionally, or it's time for you to not move forward emotionally and stay in this place where you end up around, you know, mischievous energy or being caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in divine timing and deceptive timing. And when it comes to the shadow card that we got, and it's going to be interesting, fucking, especially after these cards this week. Shit. What do we got here? Wow, atonement, out of tone, out of alignment, out of like you know, you're not in tone. It's like when you're doing music, it's like you're out of sync. You're like not especially as a DJ, right? Like I can hear it when a DJ can't mix, but I can also hear when somebody's off key. Like this is where the shadow is. We need to stay like how we tune a musical instrument. In our relationships are either really tuned nice or they're way out of tune, or you're out of tune and you can't find anybody, or you just attract people out of tune because you're out of tune. That's what's going down, and you have to listen to the divine. I was not in the best tuning, and a lot of it had to just deal with, like, I was like, I don't know, but you know what? When the right tune shows up and you're willing to tune to that frequency, and both people are, it fucking... there is so much light out there that is being hidden from view. And I feel that this is busting all those walls. What does Ganesha have to say? Because I feel like if we're going to talk about bursting walls, I don't even see Ganesha's up here. No,
Ganesha, no. What do you mean?
No, there's no Ganesha up here.
Someone's getting in trouble then. We won't say that individual's name.
Who is that individual? Well, I can hit my jewel while you hand me this. Thank you, sir. You are the voice of Ganesha.
Someone's in trouble.
Someone's in trouble.
Someone's in deep trouble.
Someone is definitely going to have to come here and do 3 CV cleanings.
You know who you are out there. You know.
Every door handle Lysol 3 times.
You know.
What was it? I was going to look at the chat. I'm not in the chat. I want to look at the chat now. Oh, the Leo and me is so curious too. I don't know. I haven't been reading the chat. I'm surprised. I don't know. You haven't brought it up. Or maybe people don't give a fuck. They're just like, oh, Leo King fucking posted himself with a chick and whatever.
Aww. You upset?
Guess nobody cares.
You upset?
It's all good.
Oh, everybody. You hurt his feelings.
You know what's so funny?
Everybody.
I heard one comment like, oh, good. That motherfucker complains all the fucking time. And he can't find love. Fuck.
Oh,
I'm just happy to stop hearing him complain.
We're going to have some bomb-ass love readings coming your way.
Yeah, I do better on love readings when I'm fucking falling for somebody, like, and I'm in a better, you know what I mean? Like, like life goes a lot better for Leo King when he's with all Leos when we're in a love situation than when we're not. So, you should be happy now.
Be happy.
But no, I'm not revealing her info astrologically unless she gives that out to you all. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people are asking. Thousands of people followed her. Fucking, they're all like, "What's her sign?" Like, well, man, overwhelming. What does Ganesh have to say about? Look at the. I was talking about decisions. Decision. Ooh. Well, what does Ganesh have to say? Like, all decisions.
That was a good one right there.
Oh, I guess I did Ganesha right there.
Yeah, look at you. Kicking ass, taking names.
This is a big choice time. Are you gonna pick? Well, it's kind of weird looking at both sides because, like, are you going to pick the dark underworld that you can sense, or are you going to pick, like, this out of tune world? Like, you know, I don't think it's about picking either. I think it's about, like, choosing a whole nother reality of life that exists. That I feel like that what we're seeing in this card reading in the collective is, like, it's probably not in your radar because it's the divine love energy right now is like you taking a leap into divine love and trusting the universe and doing something crazy that might seem crazy or what people don't understand or whatever. I can tell you through going through it myself just recently, like, holy fuck, like, was like, not that it wasn't on my radar, but it's like, there is a little bit of that, like, it should blow your mind because the divine always will blow your mind because your mind can never figure out the divine fully. If you're single out there, King of Swords in reversed. So, you know, singles out there, really make sure that you understand. Well, actually, stop understanding. I think that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And maybe you have to really realize, like, how are you even looking at your relationship life that you want? Are you sure that you know what you want? Are you clear? Are you clear in how you communicate what you want? I would say that singles are dealing with a lot of people that aren't clear. Like, you need to get more specific, like, full clarity of the situation. Like, and it should feel like overwhelmingly powerful, and you should see some sort of move. You know, like, relationships out there, Queen of Cups in reverse. So, you know, this is where it's like there's a lot of trying to find that emotional wholeness. And where does that emotion go? And in that reversal is saying that, you know, there's that yearning for that deeper emotion. But it also could be for some couples, there's no emotion there at all. And for others, it could be like the feeling of, gosh, there's so much emotion, it's unable to be had. It could be so many things that are dealing with where is the emotional support going? Is it there? If it's there, where is it going? There's a lot of those questions there in that spot. And if it's out of tone or, you know, sometimes it can be too much emotion that you can't hold on to it. But usually when you see the Queen of Cups reversed, you know, this is where the couples that are not feeling the emotional realm, like, that is a red flag. Singles not getting clarity, red flag. And you have to make a choice. So the Astro Dice are... That was an intense reading for the beginning of this whole entire thing. Like, I was just like, wow. So we got the 5th house here, Capricorn, Neptune. So, I mean, talk about choices with Capricorn, about love and the delusion or the spiritual truth of where this is going and the higher spiritual connection to love and the choices that we make and the commitments that we make. And I think that Capricorn makes a full 100% committed decision that really the universe is asking for us this week in what we're doing in our lives. With love. Like, are you going to keep doing this or not? Or are you going to do this all the way?
Yeah, because at times we feel like maybe we don't have the power, or we give it away willingly, or sometimes it's taken unwillingly. But at the end of the day, it does come down to you. Are you going to take those decisions back into your own hands? Are you going to take that power back and actually go and grab and do what you want and actually have the individuals that you want in your life? Or are you just going to continue to progress down a road even though you're just going with the motion, going with the flow? It's that time where you have to take that realization of actually what you're doing and who you want to be in your life. Take that power back fully. Don't give it away to no man, to no woman. That shit's yours.